Hi, everyone. I am Dylan McGee. I'm the founder and executive producer of Makers. And welcome to Makers at Home. I'm really excited about our guest tonight. Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook, founder of Lean In and Option B, New York Times best-selling author. In fact, I remember when Lean In came out, and it was right after we had started Makers, and it sparked this global dialogue around women in the workplace, and it electrified the world, and it also electrified Makers. So we are forever grateful for that historic contribution that still continues today. Her second book, Option B, she wrote after the sudden death of her husband, the great Dave Goldberg. And it's really the story of resiliency. Her resiliency, her learning about resiliency, and the resiliency of others, whether it was, she profiles many stories, the, loss of a job, the loss of a child, so many different things. So it just felt like the right time to talk to Cheryl right now and glean so many insights that she's learned and share those with all of you. So I want to get to Cheryl, but the last thing I just want to say is that she's also an extraordinary friend. And when, 4 or 5 weeks ago, when we all started sheltering in place, Cheryl was one of my very first friends to reach out and see how I was doing. And given everything on her plate, that meant a lot. So she is a good friend. She's brilliant. She's funny. And she's got a lot to share with us on resiliency and so much more. So we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to learn a lot. And let's bring Cheryl on. All right, Cheryl, here I come. Okay, so you request, this is sort of fun getting the COO of Facebook on Instagram Live. Hold on. I still don't have you requesting, Cheryl. This is going to be my first question to you. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Oops, wait, hold on. No, I have my friend Amy Seacrest is requesting. Amy, you're not joining this right now. Cheryl? Okay. Hold on, everybody. You're all being very patient. Welcome to the world of live. Team, text me what you want me to do. I'm going to try again. This is hilarious. No, there are lots of people we could go live with, though. I may just have to pick one of you guys. Guru, I see you there. Okay, here we go. I see a request. All right, Cheryl. Hold on. No, oh my God. We may have to start again, everybody. Team, tell me if you want me to start again, or we can just keep going. I'll try again. Last time. Nope, I still don't see you here, Cheryl. So tell me, oh my God, everyone's like, the suspense is killing me. Me too. Me too, Kelly Matusik. All right, Cheryl. Oh wait, something different is happening this time, people. But it is not Sheryl Sandberg. Okay. Hold on. Oh, you're also patient. Look at you. Still, I don't see the numbers dropping. That means so much. Hold on. No, but Lauren Crampsey, you might be my Cheryl stand-in. Hold on. You guys, just text me what you want me to do. And thank you. Well, what else could I do? Oh, Cheryl is there. Okay, now I see. Angela said she's there. Yes, there she is. Okay, Cheryl. Ready? Here we go.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I've been here all along tapping.
You have? Well, it's clearly me because you're the COO of Facebook.
No, I don't know. It could be me. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
I really want to get into how you're doing, and look at that pretty backdrop you have.
Well, thank you. There's like a lot above my head. Hi, everyone. This is always good to see a familiar face. Hi, Dylan. How are you?
Cheryl, look at you. Why don't you have gray roots?
Because I dyed my hair myself with my mother-in-law. No joke.
No, really?
I did. Yeah. My fiance's mother dyed my hair. I am so gray. Oh yeah, it was like here, like there. You couldn't have missed it. Because I don't have the nice blonde hair you have that hides it. It's showing. So
Cheryl.
No. That's nothing. You should have seen me.
Okay. All right.
How nice is she? She sat there for like an hour, like going like this with the brush.
You're lucky. You got a good mother-in-law.
I do.
You do.
I do.
Two.
I have two, and they're both wonderful, but only one is living with us. The other one's in Minneapolis. So only one of them had the fabulous opportunity to like paint my hair. So
wait, so explain to me before we get into, I really want to, hear how you are and in your way, how you really are.
And I want to hear how you are, Dylan.
Well,
I think everyone wants to hear how you are too. You're amazing.
Well, they've heard a lot from me. Wait, okay. So who's at home? Like, what's this? Give me the.
So I have two children. I have a son and a daughter. My fiance has three children. He has two daughters and a son. And 5 weeks ago, we were planning on all moving in together in August after they finished school in LA and moved up here. And then the world shut down and they moved up and moved in. And, people are sleeping on air mattresses. We don't really have rooms set up. We certainly didn't mean to all move in together, but we are kind of Brady bunching it overnight. So, and that part's been really amazing. And his mother joined us. So there are 8 of us here.
So meals for 8, 3 times a day.
Oh yes, but the kids are good. We are making our own quesadillas. We have a 7-year-old, so the older ones are helping them. And look, it's like everything else, these are such unsettled times. We have so much to be grateful for. We have enough food. We're not worried financially, and so many people are, and that can be so devastating. Yeah. We lost my fiance's first cousin to this disease already. So we've had real death touch our family, and, there's no funerals, there's no way to get together. And so I know we're still lucky in the face of it. I also know we're a family that has been through, what this is. And my heart goes out to everyone watching because, it's interesting. We released kind of a mini version of option B for free today.
Good.
And option B starts with when life isn't turning out the way you want. Losing my husband, I was living in option B. I think every single person in the world right now is living in option B. Every single person. We are all simultaneously not living the life we expected to live. And that means we need each other and great bringers together like you, Dylan, even more. Well, how are you doing? How are you doing? Oh. Dylan, how are you?
Okay. I am doing well, thanks. I'm at home. I have my husband, and I have my 17-year-old here who is a senior in high school. So he's dealing with having to, not have graduation and all those things. I will say, the first couple of weeks we were all, making meals, and now I feel like we're in the next phase of that. So would love your thoughts and advice on that. Like how do we sort of handle these new, close quarters and new responsibilities?
I mean, look, I think in the face of real challenges, you have to really look at how do we get through it? And, we think about building resilience. Resilience is our ability to recover, get through hard stuff. This is hard. So how do you get there? You forgive yourself. Self-compassion is huge. Give me a minute to tell a story. It's worth it, especially for this audience. So there's a story we told in option B of a woman who got divorced, was super nervous to date, got asked out on her first date, or she asked the guy out, got her hair all done, was all excited, went to the date, and the guy walked out after 10 minutes. So a friend of hers said, well, you're boring, you have big thighs. Of course he walked out.
Oh my God.
Okay, wait. No friend would ever say that.
Oh.
But she said that to herself. And it's such a good story because think about the things we say to ourselves. We say to ourselves things we would never say to friends. And so I'm hearing a lot of people really blame themselves, right? Like, I'm tired, I'm lonely, I'm scared. Of course you are. Like, of course. This is a time when people can be really hard on themselves. So this starts with self-compassion. Your kids are not going to be off video games the whole time. At least mine aren't, even though we're worried about that, right? We're going to be worried about our health. We're going to face real fears. We're going to have real economic issues. Like, self-compassion is where this starts. And as women, we are particularly bad at self-compassion because the world's hard on us and we're taught to be hard on ourselves. And so we have to start there. You know, people talk about the 3 Ps: personalization, to have self-compassion, permanence. No one knows when this will end. When you're going through something hard, you have grief, you have loss, you have a cancer diagnosis, it definitely changes over time. The problem with this one is no one knows when this is going to end. But we don't know when. I can't tell you when. You can't tell me when. But it's not going to be like this forever. This phase is not forever, even if it feels like it is. And the third is pervasiveness. Pervasiveness, that no matter what is going on, asking yourself and reminding you it could be worse is actually really psychologically healthy. And you wouldn't think that. You know, when Dave died, Adam said to me one day, you know, it could be way worse. Adam Grant, professor I wrote Option B with. I was like, what do you mean it could be worse? My husband, like, I found my husband, you know, dead on a floor of a gym. Like, how can it get worse? He was like, well, he could have had that cardiac arrhythmia driving your children. And I was like, okay, my kids are alive. I'm fine. And in this moment, you know, we lost Tom's first cousin. He's really close to him. That's a terrible thing. And we really are grieving for him. We have each other and our kids are healthy. No matter what is happening, there is something you can usually hold on to that is okay. It's not pervasive. Find the pieces of your life that you can still be grateful for. Those are the tricks that in the face of anything super hard like this help us get through.
Yeah. And you're right. Self-compassion especially is so hard. We're so hard on ourselves. Now I'm like, you know, stupid things like talking about my beautiful. I mean, it is. I mean, it is a skill you have to constantly, you know, I have a son who's at a school in Montana right now, a therapeutic school, and, and he's not with us, but, you know, he's thriving and doing well. And so I have to kind of, you know, cherish that moment. So it is, it's hard. And this brings up lots of other things too. I feel for the people who are, you know, alone in their homes. You know, loneliness is something that's really huge.
You know, a lot of us who are having to take care of children, guess who takes care of the children in households with straight couples? Women, right? Guess who the burden is falling on? But on the other hand, a lot of people who don't have children right now are alone, and all of these are really hard situations. I've definitely heard from a lot of my younger friends that this is super hard. You know, you rent an apartment, or you rent a room in an apartment with friends you don't even know if you like. And then there's like the much, much, much more serious issues. You know, the economic crisis is affecting women more than men. 60% of the people who've lost their jobs are women. Black women are twice as likely as white men so far in this crisis to have been laid off, furloughed, had their jobs cut. Domestic violence, we don't have good numbers, but we know it is skyrocketing all around the world because people are trapped with abusive partners and they can't go out and get help. And so we have really serious issues to face as a community, and in many ways a community of women.
Yeah. And so much to do. I mean, you know, I know you're giving back in so many different ways, Cheryl. You know, at Makers, we've really been trying to shine a light on, you know, justice involved women and formerly incarcerated women, because right now it's hard enough in the world before this to kind of get back into the work, you know, into the world. And now it's just so crushing. So anyway, so tell me, Cheryl, you know, these are all, I want to know what the 3 things are that are getting you through. We've been talking to everybody about it and they've been silly. You know, we talked to Glennon and she, you know, Glennon and Abby, and Abby showed her, you know, soccer, you know, her, whatever, I mean, sneakers. I don't even work out. I don't even know what to call a sneaker. Glennon showed us her medication. Katie Couric showed us her Tate's cookies. You know, for me, it's living in sweatpants every day. What are the 3?
Oh, I'm definitely in sweatpants. Ready? I'm going to put my leg up. Here we go. Sweatpants for sure. Okay. I brought my 3 things because I was warned to. Apples,
props, Cheryl.
Apples and peanut butter.
Okay. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, or?
Like every snack 3 times a day. There's just something so delicious about it. I prefer crunchy, and we're on to creamy because there's no more crunchy left. I'm bummed about that, but I can deal. Coffee. Coffee. I
Always.
mean, you know, like
What's your
my
go-to? What kind of coffee?
I mean, I make myself little cappuccinos. I have a little milk foamer with non-fat milk. I've been trying almond milk, but I don't like it. Sorry. I tried
What
really
about
hard. But this,
oat milk?
someone just wrote try cinnamon. Amy,
Yes.
thank you for that. I probably should. My lean-in mug, which I love because it's the biggest mug possible. And this is, I'm old. I'm old. I'm in my 50s. I'm proud. But my back hurts because I can't sit like this all day, and I sit like this all day. So if you got one of these balls, which I had, you can roll on your back yourself, and it's like self-massage.
Oh, really?
But if you're on an audio call, not a video call, you can do work rolling on the ball, as long as when you like moan in pain, you remember to mute, which I didn't do one time. But again,
I thought you
I
were
want to
going
be
to say
clear.
you sat on that ball.
No, these are good. No, sorry, Dylan. I can't sit on this ball.
Well, maybe in your spine or something.
I'm
I
not
don't
too.
know.
No, like you roll. You roll on it. But look, these are not real problems, right? I mean, the real thing to get through this is gratitude. Gratitude for my life, for the fact that I'm still alive, for every birthday I've had since Dave died. Before Dave died, I didn't appreciate birthdays. I just thought they happened. And then I had that birthday that he never had at 48, and I've never appreciated a birthday so much. I've talked to friends about this. I'll ask you, Dylan, when the last time you went to a restaurant, how much did you appreciate it?
Yeah.
The last time you hugged a friend, do you even remember when that was? Did you really appreciate those things? When this is over, whether it's a month or 6 months or whatever it is, when you go to a restaurant or hug a friend, you're going to be like, oh my God. And, we talk about post-traumatic stress, which is very real. When people go through challenges or trauma, there's stress that lives on and we have to help treat. There's also post-traumatic growth, which is you go through something really hard and you grow. And you're not happier. No one would choose this, but you can appreciate more. It makes your life better. No birthday will ever be the same since Dave died. But I've appreciated every birthday more. I wish I could go back and share that with him, but I can't. There are basic things in our lives, like being able to socialize, like going to work, like, being able to hug our kids, like not being with our kids 24/7, that we didn't appreciate. Yeah. And we will, if we can carry back that lesson. And there are things about this that will make us stronger as a community and stronger.
Well, and I mean, and you speak from a place of knowledge. I mean, I bet when Dave first died, you never thought you'd live again in many ways.
Yeah, and you were a good friend, so because you lived it with me, and you were so wonderful and supportive all the way through. But yeah, I didn't think I could make it. And I asked Adam, okay, how much resilience do I have? How much?
Right.
And he said, wrong question.
Right.
Well, it's not like a little thing you have. It's, it's a muscle, and we build it, and we build it in ourselves, and we build it in each other. There are amazing stories of collective resilience happening. One of my favorite is from Facebook. There's a woman named Emily. Her husband, Jason, is an ER doctor working with coronavirus patients. She has asthma and a newborn. Terrible situation. So she posted on Facebook and asked strangers, does anyone have an RV we could borrow? And someone lent him their RV. And now he is living in an RV in front of their house, so he can still see the baby, but not infect her in case he gets exposed. And then they started a Facebook group to connect health workers with RV owners so that strangers, RVs are expensive, can lend their RVs to strangers. That's collective resilience. Every single person who does that is making themselves stronger and others. And we have to take this crisis for the opportunity it is to get through it together, because that is the only way. And I also think, and I was just working on something I'm writing on this that I hope to publish, is that we really have to focus on girls and women.
Yeah.
The majority of healthcare workers are women. The majority of people who are losing jobs, as I said, are women. The majority of people doing more in the home before this are women. The majority of people doing caregiving for elders and their families are women. We absolutely need to make sure that we don't stay focused, particularly globally, on the role of women and girls and the support women and girls need right now.
Well, I know you'll be behind that. Makers will be behind that. And you have, I mean, every single comment, Cheryl, is ugly crying even. People are really feeling your advice right now. And I do want to go, I'm supposed to check in and say, hi, everyone. Sheryl Sandberg, of
Hi,
course, you
everyone.
know. I'm Dylan McGee, founder of Makers, and we're so lucky to be with Sheryl Sandberg right now, sharing her insights. And there are are you okay if we do a couple
Yeah,
questions?
let's
Okay.
do them.
Okay, let's see. So the first one here is this is from Becoming Samantha. How are you staying motivated during this time? Oh, bless you.
Sorry. I mean, look, I feel a tremendous responsibility with my Facebook hat on to make sure people are getting accurate information. We announced today that we have pointed 2 billion people to official health information, and we're really proud of that, to make sure people aren't getting misinformation and working with health authorities. I feel a tremendous responsibility for the Lean In community. We have 48,000 Lean In circles. They're meeting via Zoom. This is what I believe in: women supporting women, helping women. So much of the Lean In story is because of my interview with Makers so long ago, Dylan. You started me down this path. But this community is really both suffering because they're facing all these challenges, but thriving because they're jumping in to help each other. And for option B, we released today kind of a mini version of the book. As much as we're allowed to release for free, we released, and Adam and I wrote a new intro. It's available for free at optionb.com so that anyone can get the lessons of building resilience for free. I feel tremendously lucky and tremendously responsible to help do everything we can with all of these hats on, and as a mother and a friend, to get Facebook through it. I call my parents and my in-laws, I try to call them all every other day right now because they're home alone.
Did you tell me about the chapter or the excerpt that you released? It's a specific chapter on resilience?
We took the most relevant parts of all the chapters. We put out some stuff on resilience, on the 3 Ps, etc. So it's like a whole section of the book, different sections of the book cobbled together. But we wrote an intro, which is about the coronavirus crisis and what this crisis means. And, again, I said at the beginning, but every single person is living in option B right now. No one is not. Yeah. Now, there are varying degrees. There are varying degrees of economic crisis. One of the things I've done is done a lot of work with refugee organizations, the IRC and CARE. Can you imagine refugee camps right now where they don't have clean water, where washing your hands is a luxury? No. Like, there are people in the parts of the world and even in our own country that are suffering much, much more, but everyone is living in option B. And that means we all have to band together to get through this.
I'm so glad you put that out into the world, Cheryl. I'm going to read it tonight. So here's one more. We'll do 2 more. What's your advice on how not to give up on dreams when everything is working against you? P.S. You're an inspiration.
Oh, look, I mean, you need a long run vision. Like, this is like one step in front of the other. But then it's also the long run dream. One of the stories of my life I put into Lean In was from my mom. I was a terrible athlete as a child. I had asthma. I was just totally uncoordinated. And I went skiing for the very first time. And I got to the top of some mountain with my mom, and I looked down and I just sat down and started crying. Like, there's zero chance I'm getting down. And I could feel it right now telling the story, And my mom looked at me and she said, "Don't look down the mountain. You can do 10 turns." I was doing those big pizza wedge turns. She's like, "Do 10 turns. Do 10 turns." And I can do 10 turns. I don't know when this ends. I don't know when we all go back to work. We just put out some information today that at Facebook, we're going to go back to work more slowly because we think we can, to give room to the rest of the economy, because we can work from home. So we're going to do everything we can to give room to other people. I don't know where the bottom of the mountain is, but I can do 10 turns, which means I can get through today. I can get up. I can make sure my kids eat. I can make sure they're in their online classes. I can do the best job I can for Facebook. And I can try to be a good partner, fiance, daughter-in-law at night at dinner. I can do that. And then I can do the next day, and I can do the next day. Even the worst day we had, where we had death and loss and no funeral, we can get through the day. Yeah. And so that's the lesson. Get through the day, but then when you have the moment, still keep the big dream, because this is not forever.
And I love the pizza wedge. Like, let's focus on the pizza, what we can control. So are you, Cheryl, are you exercising? What are you doing for your mental health?
I am.
That's a
I have a
question.
bike at home. I have, so many back injuries that the only thing I can do is the bike. I used to run. I used to this. I can't do anything. But I get on that bike and I go hard, and that's really helped. And I try to take a walk most days. I really need to. I'm lucky. I live in a very neighborhoody place where there's not a lot of people. But even, it is such an amazing experience. So you go for a walk in like a very suburban neighborhood where I live. And I was walking down with my fiance, Tom, and I, and this guy was walking in. I have no idea who he was. And he turns around on the street and faces the other way. And I was like, oh my God, that's so respectful. And now we do it. Like, I turn around, I give someone else the right of way. I'm like, I'm going to let you go. And I was thinking about how, had you done that 2 months ago, that's like the rudest thing in the world. Like, someone's walking
you're like, high five, thank you.
It's the rudest thing in the world has become the nicest thing in the world. I remember the week before we all went in for sheltering at home in California, I said to myself, I'm such a big hugger. I hug everyone. I kiss everyone. I am not hugging everyone. Like, this is a mistake. There is a virus. But I like felt rude. Like, someone goes to shake your hand or hug. I didn't know how to not do it.
Did you do the elbow?
No, I didn't know how to do that. I felt rude. And then one person, I was like, listen, I don't want to shake. It's like, I'm ushering in a new era of, social behavior. They were like, no, you're not. You're mean. But all of these things have changed. Like, other people have become something that are dangerous. And that means we have to reach out even more, because other people are our lifeline here. They are the lifeline. And we have to acknowledge it and show compassion to each other and compassion to ourselves.
Are you having, is anything driving you crazy being at home with everybody? Or is it all working out? You're a newlywed. That's nice.
I'm not a newlywed. Look, I feel so lucky. I've thought about going through this without Dave and without, and that, like, he wouldn't have ever known this was happening. I feel really lucky with the timing of my engagement, but a lot of people are doing this entirely on their own, and they're going to get through this too. I've had that moment in my life, again, when Dave died suddenly, where I was like, I can't make it through. You can, you will, you do. We do. We are so much stronger than we think, and you come out on the other side. So what can we do? We can reach out to those people. I actually have the list of a bunch of people in my life who are all alone. I have a very close friend living in Paris. He's an older man. He has a ton of preconditions. He hasn't left his apartment. He's the most social man in the world, the most loving man, very, very close to me, but he's, way over the age limit where it gets dangerous. And he's all alone. So I try to reach out. That's what I can do.
Right.
You're
such a giver.
And he's going to get through it.
Giver.
He is going to get through it. Like, everyone's going to get through this, because we have to, because we don't have another choice, because we're strong. We are strong. We just are, because we have to be. And particularly as women, men are strong too, but women are strong.
I know. And
we are the bedrock of our communities.
You know what I heard on a podcast, on Kara's podcast today? If it's interesting when you look at Germany and New Zealand run by women and how they're flattening the curve faster than perhaps other countries. It's been amazing to see the female leadership with mayors, the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of San Francisco, right? It's
not a shocker for me to believe female leadership is more needed in the world.
But maybe this will, I really hope that our female leaders will really shine at this time. But Cheryl, like, there's nothing driving you crazy. Like, my husband's driving me crazy with the mess, right? Like, we're struggling over the mess everywhere. And I'm like a control freak. I'm like, you can't leave your boxers on the floor.
Yeah,
no.
I think, like, worrying that there's too many video games going on with kids. Yeah, that's a worry. Or, I was always really good on bedtime. Like, I'm a strict bedtime mom, and like that's kind of flown out the window.
Right, good.
Lenore Skenazy, who wrote the great book Free Range Kids, wrote a great piece for the I think she published in the Post last weekend, which was like, don't worry about your kids. It's okay. They're learning something from video games. But I also have a lot of perspective, like, even for my kids, like my two kids and I, we've lived through
a lot.
And so we know, for us, this is not the hardest time we've lived through.
Yeah.
We also realize how lucky we are. But when you're feeling bad, again, like, break it down. You can make 10 turns, or try to call someone else. I've told my kids at the times they're feeling lonely and missing their friends, if they can't call their friends, because they've already spent plenty of time on with their friends, call your grandma.
Yeah.
You'll feel good because you helped her.
All right, Cheryl. Well, I've kept you too long.
No, this is
This is
great.
so fun.
I want to thank you. So, Makers was a huge part of my journey to lean in. I think it was the first public interview I ever gave. Definitely helped start me down the path of speaking out about women, writing the book, starting the foundation. Dylan, you are an incredible friend. You have been to me, but you're an incredible leader. And again, we only get through this with community. And you have built this community. And for all the people on there, I saw a great comment from someone from Iran who said she was up late. Thank you for staying up late. But I'm watching these comments, and this is a global community, and that's what this takes. And Dylan, it's people like you that build that. So I am honored to be your friend, glad to be here with you. And I'm wishing everyone who's watching strength. You have it, I promise.
You're amazing, Cheryl. I really appreciate your time. Sending
You're
lots of
amazing.
love. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.